Welcome, I'm Dion Swift and this is my final video for the Woven Together quilt project. I want to show you in this video how to piece together all those little bits of fabric. Hopefully you haven't got rid of any of the little remnants or cut-offs that are hanging around your working space. Today you'll be able to stitch them all together and utilise them to really help personalise the quilt blocks that you've been making, and you might just eke out an extra special block from it all as well. You're going to have to be a little bit, use a bit of ingenuity and kind of a bit of this and a bit of that. I think you'll be fine and you'll enjoy it and make something really unique out of it. In this little video, I'd like to show you a couple of quick ideas to help you use up some of the scraps that you've got, and it will give you ways to personalize your quilt blocks but also use up tons of these scraps so that you haven't got any waste. First off, what we can do is look for some of the straight-sided bits or even not so straight-sided bits, and we'll stitch them together. You can choose a combo if you like and audition things up, or you can do it fairly randomly at the sewing machine. The choice is yours, and we'll stitch them all together and then we'll be able to chop them up to do something else with them. I'm going to start by pretty randomly joining some of these pieces together. I'm going to line up the edges, keep with my narrow stitch, narrow hem, but it doesn't matter quite so much when we do this. We're literally going to join together a load of scrap pieces and then we'll give them a press and we'll cut them out and use them somewhere else. Always making sure that we put right sides together. It's a really good way to use up scraps. And this bit here is quite long, so I'll chop that off and reuse it somewhere else. You might have sections like this that were a long strip or part of one of your 5 centimetre strips that didn't get used. This is a really good way to use them up, make the most of every piece of fabric. Might even manage to get an extra block made this way. There we go, we'll give it a quick press and there's a shape in there that we can cut out another strip if we want. Here we go, now it's had a press and we have a beautiful rainbow of colours joined together. They're not all exactly straight, but that's okay because we can trim this up, and you can do it with ruler and a pair of scissors, or you can do it with a rotary cutter, whatever you have. And you can make yourself a colourful strip of fabric which we could use. Let's make this one 5 centimetres, shall we? So I'm just gonna, that's my 5 centimetre line there, 5 centimetre line. I'm looking at the lines on my board So I'll make a 5 cm strip, just like we had in the diagonal and the quarter log cabin blocks. And you could use this as one of those sections to make a much more colourful, personalised block. There you go, scraps made good. Once they're trimmed up, made into a nice neat square, you can either use your scrappy bits of wastage and turn them into something useful, colourful, bright and breezy for either the quarter log cabin or for the diagonal diamond shaped block. If you want to incorporate these into a curve, let's see how that would work as well. I have cut a centerpiece, so the center arc, like we did in the previous session. I have cut my exterior piece, so I've drawn around my template, given myself the extra seam allowance, and cut out that piece, the outside piece, the inside piece. Then the centre piece here is still paper. This is the template area that I need to create next, and I have decided to use a collection of these fabrics, so gold, purple, white and lilac. What I'm going to do is cut myself from this little pile, and this is, be careful not to cut your other pieces. You can save a lot of time this way. I'm going to cut a series of wedge shapes. And with this rotary cutter, I can cut loads at one time. Okay, now if we just see how these might come together on top of, this is the pattern piece we need to really recreate now. If I lay them out on here, you'll see how it all kind of fits. And you can choose what order you put these in. You might decide to only use 2 of the colours. So I could simply use the dark purple and the gold, for instance, or I could use more gold than any other colour. In your group, you can make a decision about the colours that you use for this and the order that you put them in. If you decide to use them at all, I might get rid of that one and just stick with the purple, white and gold. And then when we stitch them together, we want to make sure that they will still form this lovely arch that we have here. I'm going to end on a purple, like so. I can stitch these together now with my 1/4 inch seam and then cut out that arc. Feel free to pin if that helps you. With my sun ray stitched together and pressed, I can then position my pattern piece on there. I've got just enough space to mark out my stitch line and still leave myself just enough for a small seam allowance, very small in some cases. Just going to manage it. So we're going to mark up in the way that we did before and then cut out and stitch to the other sections just as we did before, and it's going to give us this lovely sun ray pattern in the middle of our arc. So we'll do the tricky bit first, and we'll join these together. Let's find a halfway point, and I'll just crease it there, and a halfway point here, and I'll give it a crease. That'll just help us have another join. Can put a pin in there to get going. And then we'll line those edges up as well. And this is the most difficult seam because you've got a tight curve to start off with, but then you've got all these extra seam allowances to deal with as well. So give yourself a bit of a stretch, ever so gently, just to ease everything together. I'm going to be mindful of the fact that we've already got the seams from the sunray section all going in a particular direction. I've pressed them all so that they go one way. I'm going to be mindful of the way that I start off. Just take it really nice and steady. I have got a lot of pins in there, and sometimes my pins are just there to make sure that I catch little sections, but also to hold my seams flat. because I want my seam allowances to all fold the same way if possible. It will just help everything lie a bit flatter. Readjusting myself. So you can go super slow, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to take that pin out there now. You've done the pinning, that's kind of the hard work, I guess, so you can feel relatively confident as you stitch along. And now the big reveal. How's it gone? Hey, super happy with that. You can obviously see the pinholes, but we'll give that a press and get ready to sew the next bit on. Once it's stitched up and had a quick press, this is what it looks like. Then you just need to add it to your quilting buddies to make the complete circle, and you can admire your full sun effect. It's fun, isn't it? Making something really personal, real one-off piece, and so much more creative. Now that you have made all your pieces and you know how to use up all the little scraps and all the little bits, you could decide that you want to add your signature to the corner. You could hand stitch it or machine stitch it if you want. There's no need. You know which are your pieces and the pieces that belong to your little group, because those colours and those shapes and those choices are very consciously yours. So you don't need to put your name on, but if you'd like to, feel free. Then once they're all stitched together in the larger squares, send them to me and I will sew like fury and make the big quilts, and then I'll let you know where you can see them, and we'll have a wave and maybe a coffee on a park bench as well. Thank you so much for getting involved. It's been fabulous working with you. I hope you've enjoyed it too. Bye for now.